Good evening and welcome back to Answers on Eschatology. We are in video number 4 of our study of the Battle of the Seeds. So this will be, for sure, the concluding video in this series, and we will do our best to demonstrate in just a few minutes here that the judgment and fall of Babylon of Revelation 16 was in fact the judgment and destruction of Satan in Revelation chapter 20. But remember, since Babylon of Revelation 16 through Revelation 18 is, biblically identified as Old Covenant Jerusalem, what that means is the judgment of Old Covenant Jerusalem as Babylon in AD 70 was the time of the crushing of Satan of Revelation 20 and Romans 16:20 at the end of the millennium at the coming of Jesus Christ. Let's take a look at this. I'm going to read a parallel chart here. I will upload the chart to the video so you can get a better visual of all these things. But I'm going to read a perfect thematic parallels between Revelation 16 and Revelation 20, demonstrating that the fall and judgment of Babylon in Revelation 16 was in fact the fall and judgment of Satan in Revelation 20 at the end of the millennium. Watch this. Revelation 16, 13 through 20. It begins in verses 13 and 14, where Satan, the beast, and the false prophet gather together the kings of the whole world for the war of the great day of God. Following this, there is heavenly manifestations of lightnings, thunders, and a great earthquake. That's in Revelation 16:18. Following this results in the judgment of Babylon, the great city called Babylon, and the judgment, the eradication of her power and her throne. We see that in Revelation 16, verses 5 through 6 and verse 19. And all of that results in the removal, that is the fleeing away of the old creation. Revelation 16:20, where it says, every island fled away and the mountains were not found. Remember that phraseology. Well, that thematic parallel is identically repeated in Revelation 20, 7 through 14. Watch this. In Revelation 20, 7 through 8, we have the loosing of Satan to gather the nations from the four corners of the earth for the war. That's the same war as Revelation 16, the great day of God. Following that, we have again heavenly manifestations where fire comes down out of heaven. That's Revelation 20, verse 9. That is followed by the judgment and the destruction of Satan and his power. We see that in Revelation 20, 10, and 14. And the power of Satan that's destroyed with Satan is death and Hades, the realm of the dead that Satan held authority over. Okay? He held the keys to that realm that Christ removed from him through the Passion event. And following that, just like Revelation 16, Revelation 20 pictures the removal of an old creation, heaven and earth, where it states that the heaven and earth fled away and no place was found for them. That's Revelation 20, verse 11. So both passages concern the loosing of Satan or the workings of Satan to gather the kings of the earth, the nations of the earth for the war. There is heavenly manifestations. It is the judgment of Babylon or the judgment of Satan and their kingdoms and thrones, resulting in the removal of heaven and earth, the removal of an old creation. This is powerful. What this means is the judgment of Satan in Revelation 20, the destruction of his power and his kingdom, was in fact the destruction of Babylon, the fall of Babylon and her kingdom. But remember, Babylon of Revelation 16 through 18 is Old Covenant Jerusalem, Old Covenant Israel, who was guilty of shedding all the blood of the saints, the prophets, and the apostles. Matthew 23, 38 and following, 31 and following. That means that the destruction and judgment of Satan and his kingdom of Revelation 20, and by implication, Romans 16:20, took place at the judgment of Old Covenant Jerusalem, i.e. Babylon, in AD 70, when she was judged for the murder of the prophets and the apostles, and the murder, of course, of Jesus Christ. Man, that is powerful evidence, powerful biblical proof that what we propose from the beginning of this study, that the judgment and the crushing of Satan of Genesis 3:15 was accomplished through the crushing of Satan's seed and the power, that is the authority that that seed influenced. And that seed was Old Covenant Israel. Their authority was the power in the kingdom of darkness that Satan had given over to them, that they had received as the reward for their rejection of the kingdom of light. Remember, Matthew 12:28 and following. Well, that's it for this series. It is undeniable that the judgment of Satan is not in our future. The end of the millennium at the coming of the Lord is not in our future. Those are historical events that took place through the judgment and the destruction of Satan's seed and the kingdom of Satan that those people possessed. Well, that's it. We'll see you soon. Man, God bless. I appreciate you guys for listening and tuning in, and enjoy the rest of your week, or the rest of your weekend, I guess. I think it's, what day is it here? I don't even know what day it is. Anyways, God bless. See you soon. Bye for now.